Hi, welcome back to this video series. We're setting up a Centrify MFA for Amazon AWS WorkSpaces. And in the previous video, we installed our Centrify connector and downloaded some of the bits that we need in order to set up the connector. One thing that we could do before we actually move on to an AWS workspace is to use the connector itself to test MFA. That way, when we get to setting up the connector with the workspace itself, we already have a sanity check. So we're going to be setting this up. So the first thing we need to do is authorize the connector machine, which is here, to be able to use the Centrify MFA service. And we can do this by using the role that we created. So we can go to roles and we go to the workspaces MFA. Remember, we gave that role the computer login and privilege elevation. We're going to add a computer in this case, and the name is connector. So there you go. We have connector here, and we're going to press save. So this gives the authorization piece. Let's look at this in terms of layers. So authentication happens over HTTPS on using SPNeG or IWA. For that, there's got to be a PKI trust relationship between the machine and the actual Centrify tenant. This machine, so if we look at, for example, MMC, and then we open the certificate snap-in. So we're going to do certificates, and we press add for the computer, right? We're going to quickly just review here what's going on in terms of trusted root certification authorities. So if we look at this, you will see that we have a Centrify customer, right, certificate that has been trusted. And this was part of the setup. So we don't need to do this for this machine, but we will definitely need to do this for the Centrify, the AWS workspaces, right? And there's a way that we could do this using group policy. But the reason why this will work right away, I just wanted you to see this, is because we have this certificate trusted here. So otherwise, you would have to download the IWA trust certificate from the connector, right? So you can go to IWA service, download the trusted certificate, and then you basically open it and install the certificate in the proper store. So this would actually do this. And you will put this into the trusted root certification authorities, right? Otherwise, authentication will not happen because it has to happen over SSL. So let's do this. We're going to install the bits. So I want to install the extension so I can edit the GPLs later. And again, you can get this from the server suite bits. And I'm going to go ahead and also install the agent. So when I install the agent, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to run the agent installation wizard. We're going to add a service. Notice that it will detect immediately that we have an installation. So we're going to enable that. This is the installation in question, right? And we're going to require MFA for our administrator. So we're going to check names. Obviously, administrator needs to have one of the attributes like email or a mobile phone, of course, enabled to be able to do MFA. So this is going to validate the enrollment. If there was something wrong at this point with the PKI relationship, you will see it here. So in this case, it's going to ask us to reboot, and we're going to wait for this reboot. All right, so we rebooted. Now we're reconnecting again, and we're going to log in with the administrator user. And in this case, we're testing to see if MFA is working. So notice that it's looking to connect to the authentication service, right? And I have several things that I can do here, like a phone call or things like this. So let's go ahead and do phone factor, right? So we can get an audible response here. So I'm supposed to get a call on my phone. And here it is.
Hello, this is Centrify. Please complete your authentication by pressing the pound or hash key.
So I'm going to press the pound.
You've successfully authenticated using Centrify. You may hang up now.
So all right, so we have verified that we have a working MFA installation. And this is a great step because it allows us to verify and do a sanity check that everything is fine. Now we can actually start pre-configuring some of the things that we need to do in order for us to get this going in an AWS workspace.